Emily Burton is an oncology nurse navigator with St. Peter's Hospital. Welcome to Healthy Living for Life, and thanks for being with us,
Thanks
Emily.
for having me.
So can you tell me what a nurse navigator is?
Sure. It can mean a very variety of different things to people across the nation. Here in Montana, especially at St. Peter's, what we do is advocate for our patients. We're with them from the beginning of their diagnosis all the way through treatment and into their survivorship. So it can be different at different hospitals, but that's how our model of navigation works here.
So if patients run into barriers with their treatment, do you help them through that? And can you tell us a little bit about what you do to actually ease that burden for them?
Absolutely. So when patient is diagnosed, you got to think about we're getting diagnosed younger, so these are a lot of the working people, they have families, kids in school. So all of those can become barriers. We're in a rural community, so we have people that come from far away that need treatment. So transportation, lodging, work issues, finding transportation and daycare for their kids can be an issue for patients too. And what we do as navigators is work to decrease those barriers, provide them resources to help them be able to get their care in a timely manner without having as much stress. So we try to help them with resources.
Oh, that's great. And you mentioned lodging, and that especially for the rural folks that are coming in and may need hotels. We hear of some organizations that partner with folks to provide lodging. Is that something that you actually work with in Helena to help folks coming from outlying areas to get their lodging?
It is. We have people that come from White Sulphur Springs, Dillon, lots of different places, and we work with the American Cancer Society. They have a program that helps partner with hotels in the local communities to provide lodging for patients that are coming from out of town. A lot of other hospitals in Montana and throughout the nation though as well, their navigators work with their hospital. They might have a house or apartments or something that the patients can stay at too. So that's all part of a navigator's job.
Great. So when a patient gets referred, how do they get actually in touch with a nurse navigator? Can you walk us through the process of how you actually meet patients and how that process works?
Yeah. So at St. Peter's, we have two different nurse navigators. We have Pam Sasser, who's our breast and gynecological nurse navigator, and then myself, and I do the remainder of the cancers. Pam gets involved a lot earlier with our breast patients because as soon as there's an abnormal mammogram that requires a biopsy, she's called in. And then she sits with the patient and she does the education about what to expect with the biopsy. Quite often she goes in with them for their biopsy and is able to provide support through that. And then she attends appointments with them for their various specialists to get the cancer worked up. Then with me, just with the nature of how other cancers arise, they may be found on an ER visit or just a regular screening through their primary care. I tend to get involved a little bit later, usually when they're scheduled with a specialist when something abnormal is found. So when they see a surgeon or our oncologist, then that prompts a referral to me.
Okay, so for the folks that may not be from Helena, would they look to their physician, the specialist, to ask if there's a nurse navigator so that they would have access to your type of services?
Absolutely, and some of our out-of-town folks find us through our specialists if they have a primary care in a more rural area and they're referred into a specialist in Helena. I work very closely with, say, the surgeons and the oncologist and the radiation oncologist here, so anytime they get a referral, then they'll be in touch with me too.
So you're with these patients pretty much throughout their treatment at various stages to help them with the needs.
Correct.
What happens when they've completed their therapy? Are you still there for them, and what kind of services do you provide?
Absolutely. This is one of the more exciting growing areas in our field right now. The Institute of Medicine put out a paper called From Cancer Patient to Cancer Survivor, Lost in Transition. And that really spurred the oncology community throughout the nation to do better for our patients. We're curing more patients at a younger age, and then they're living with these side effects from their cancer treatment. And how do we do better as oncology professionals to make that transition easier for them, to improve their quality of life? So a couple of pieces that we're doing here locally and nationally, I know it's a push too, is we're providing survivorship care plans to our patients. And what that is it's a summary of the treatment they've had, and then it's a summary of what their 5-year follow-up is going to look like. So then we meet with the patient, go over that with them, let them ask any questions. It also details any other cancer screenings that they need to participate in, whether related to theirs or not. And then a copy is provided to their primary care physician too. And that helps with the continuity of care as they transition back to their primary care for the majority of their healthcare needs from their oncologist. And so we're trying to improve communication between primary care and the patient and just provide better quality of life, catch any side effects or symptoms they're still experiencing.
Oh, gosh.
So then the other piece that we're really excited about is we just finished a 6-week class for our survivors. And it was a series covering everything from late physical side effects to cognitive issues, stress, emotion, reintegrating back into the workforce, and finding meaning after, life after cancer treatment. So it's really, really exciting what's coming down.
Oh, that is awesome. What a great coordination of care for the patients.
Yeah.
So quickly, I just want to ask one more question. Do you as nurse navigators get involved in the prevention part of cancer?
Yes.
Can you tell us just real quickly about that?
And Pam and I are involved with anything from county committees to statewide events, Relay for Life, Race for the Cure, all that kind of thing. One of the big pushes is the colorectal screening right now, to have 80% of eligible patients screened by the year 2018. So that means patients age 50 to 75 should be current on their colorectal screening, unless you have any symptoms such as rectal bleeding, that type of thing, then you should be worked up early, or a family history.
Thank you, Emily. We'll see you next week on Healthy Living for Life.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the YouTube icon. Special thanks to Fire Tower Coffee House and Roasters. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.